guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm back here at my favorite filming spot location because guess what? We have that one sports car that gets some extra tuning for 2024. What is it? Is this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Subaru BRZ, but this isn't your regular BRZ. This is a BRZ TS. But before we get into this manual transmission, rear-wheel drive sports car, let's talk about what's going on here. The BRZ, it's that brainchild between Subaru and Toyota. It's been around since 2012, if you could believe that. And technically, this is the second gen. So even though we're talking about 12 years ago, the BRZ came out, it's only the second generation, because if you look at the fundamental basics of what makes a driver's car, the BRZ has brought it. Now, for the new gen, they updated the engine, they updated the gearbox and all the interior pieces, but what this TS represents is special tuning from STI. What is STI? Subaru Technica International. That's the branch, the motorsports branch of Subaru that handles all of their rallying, all of their 24 hours of the Nürburgring competition, Super GT over in Japan with the BRZ, and they really have brought some tuning to make it that much more of a driver's car. Now, I'm gonna just let the cat out of the bag. MSRP on this car is $36,000. If you have $36,000 burning a hole in your pocket and you wanna get some type of sporty performance car, do you go BRZ TS or do you go with another car, totally different experience, but the same MSRP, $36,000? What car is that? The Elantra N from Hyundai. Both available with a manual transmission or an automatic if you prefer, and both bringing performance in their own unique way. Let's see who does it better. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's dive in to this BRZ TS. Right off the bat, the proportions, it just really has that perfect presence of what a true sports car is all about. Now, at the front of the business, you'll see that updated Gen 2 style in the TS. So you're gonna have LED daytime running lamps. You'll notice the BRZ badge. That's something you're not gonna see on the Toyota GR86, of course, but you have your projector beam headlights, LED daytime running lamps, and turn signals in a very nicely nestled and designed headlight housing. Down below, we have massive corner air curtains that are gonna let air flow through, and it continues to the side fender vent as well. And I'll show you that in a split second, but we have this dark gray metallic color with the flat black accents. And then one obviously way to tell that this is a BRTS is right off the badge. There's your BRTS badge, tuned by STI within our flat black grille. And then of course you got the coveted Subaru badge, that constellation that goes all the way back to its early rally days in WRC with Colin McRae and the Subaru legacy, Petter Solberg, Richard Burns, even Ken Block. So kind of cool to have all of that history behind it. Now, what is unique about the front of the BRZ compared to the GR86 is the amount of flat black. So you have this front lip splitter that extends out that is flat black. On the GR86, everything is body colored. So that's an easy way to differentiate the two different designs, even though they're basically the same platform. If you compare this to the front end of the Elantra N, even though they tweaked the Elantra N for model year 2024, I think that this is a better looking car at the front end of the business. And if you haven't seen my latest Elantra N review, I'll leave it at the end of this one. But really love just that nice, aggressive, sporty look. Now, as we rise up, you have a very, very low slung nose. And the way that they're able to get the hood so low on this car is because of the flat 4 engine that is underneath it. Remember, if you were to put an inline engine in this car, you would have to redesign the whole front of it. And it's gonna be interesting to see what the next generation of this car is gonna be, even if it's gonna be a next gen, because Subaru, some people have said Subaru's not gonna continue the BRZ. We'll have to wait and see. I know Toyota is going to continue the GR86, and obviously Hyundai is continuing the Elantra N. Now, as we come around the bend, we do have some specific touches because this is the BRZ TS. First of all, you're going to get these dark metallic gray, gunmetal metallic gray multi-spoke wheels, 18-inch wheel, and our gold, not red, gold Brembo 4-piston calipers up front, 2 piston calipers out back. And if you know your Subarus, you would know that back between 04 to 07 on a WRX STI, they came with gold Brembo calipers. So that's where that gold connection comes from on the calipers. What's interesting is that GR86 comes with SAC suspension. This does not. This comes with the stock suspension, but has been totally revalved and retuned by STI. So compression and rebound dampening, all 4 corners. You have your 13-inch rotors up front, 12-inch rotors out back. And if you're wondering what type of tires are we running, we're running Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, and it's a 215 with a 40 series sidewall. If you compare this to the new Elantra N, the refreshed 2024 Elantra N, that has 18-inch wheels up front as well, but it's front-wheel drive. But they do give you a limited slip diff front-wheel drive, and there's no performance upgraded brakes. They upgrade the pads, but not the calipers. So something to think about there. And like I said, both available with a manual or an automatic transmission. But let me know what you think about the brake and the suspension setup on this BRZ TS. Now, as we come down the side, I'm actually gonna have Steven swing around and show off our functional side fender vent. Gives it such a great look. And then from the side of the vehicle, you can see just how small it is. And I think that's a question you have to ask yourself. First of all, what kind of performance are you looking for? And second of all, how much of a daily driver do you want it to be? And those are things I'm going to talk about when we go for a drive, so don't worry about that. Now, you do have gloss black on the mirror caps. There is no available sunroof on a BRZ, so we don't have to worry about that. And the only way to get a sunroof on an Elantra N is you have to go 8-speed DCT. You can't get a sunroof on a manual. So let's just leave it at that. Down below, you have that beautiful side skirt extension that extends out for aerodynamic purposes and then really tapers in nicely into the rear flared fender. Color matched on the door handles, very sleek, rear wheel drive. So we have those Brembos out back, 2-piston Brembos out back. And then of course, we're gonna have our limited slip diff for our rear wheel drive. Coming around back, you got a nice little bit of a kick up spoiler, not as big as the GR86. Great LED lighting, nice flared fender. There's our BRZ TS badge, tuned by STI, that cherry blossom pink color. And then as we work our way down, you got a single outlet exhaust on both sides, stainless steel tip with a simulated rear diffuser. But there's just something that always makes my heart pitter-patter about the BRZ aesthetically. Aesthetically on the Elantra N, obviously beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It just has a little bit too many geometric angles to it, which kind of turns me off. But why don't we pop the hood so we can talk about performance with this BRZ TS. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. Underneath the hood, there is that flat 4 boxer engine developed by Subaru. What do we have going on? That is an upgraded engine for the 2nd generation of this vehicle. So you're looking at a 2.4 liter naturally aspirated flat 4 producing 228 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you compare that to the Elantra N has a 2-liter inline 4 turbocharged engine that produces more horsepower and torque. But here is where there's going to be a difference, is weight. This vehicle weighs 2,800 pounds, whereas the Elantra N weighs over 3,000 pounds. So there is a weight advantage for the Subaru BRZ TS. 0 to 60, if you know how to dance on your twinkle toes with that 6-speed manual, 5.5 seconds. Quarter mile goes by at 13.9 seconds at 102 miles an hour, and top speed is 140 miles per hour. Now, on paper, with those different performance specs, the Elantra N is faster. But there's more to being fast than just going fast in a straight line. Like Colin McRae says, or God rest his soul, Colin McRae used to say, fast straight lines are for fast cars, curvy roads are for fast drivers. And that's where you're really gonna be able to show off your skill. MPGs, 20 in the city, 27 on the highway. Now the whole key with this vehicle working is that flat floor, because you're lowering the center of gravity. An inline-4 engine is gonna come up to about here, where my hand is. So that's a big difference between here and here. That's gonna help with the handling, and of course with that 6-speed manual and rear-wheel drive with a limited slip diff. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this BRZ and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Subaru BRZ TS. There's no reason to ask what the price is, because if you've been paying attention, I've actually said it a couple times in the video. But MSRP, the way that this one is optioned, you're looking at $36,000. Like I said, if you get a 6-speed manual Elantra N, it's essentially $36,000. So quite an idea to compare the two. And I do have people that reach out to me all the time, viewers like you, that ask me, what should I do? Well, here I am to show you. So without further ado, if you're ready, I'm ready, to the door panels. So I love the Alcantara up top. Everything else is a nice soft touch black. You have blue contrast stitching on the armrests and a door pocket that's big enough for a big, huge Yeti can filled with your favorite hot chocolate. Now going from the door panel to the dash, you got nicely styled AC vents, soft touch material, a little bit of black trim, and then you come on in, you're gonna be greeted to an 8-inch infotainment system. Not the most modern, but it's got everything that you want. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Let me throw it into reverse. Backup camera does take up all 8 inches, and you do have trajectory, which is really nice. I just wish the resolution was a little bit more clear. But I like the fact that you have a real volume knob, tuning knob. Check it out. We have an STI bright red start-stop button that's unique to the BRZ TS. We also have dual climate control with these tinted digital readouts, toggle switches for your AC, and then this is where the magic happens. 6-speed manual transmission, nice short throws, crisp engagement. I love the blue stitching that they use. Blue stitching on the mechanical e-brake. You do have track mode. And you do have 2 stages of heated seats, an actual armrest. Open it up, 2 more cup holders, 2 USB-A's, an aux jack, and then these seats are spectacular. They almost look like Recaros. Alcantara, the blue leather, the blue stitching. They are manual for both the passenger and the driver, but I'm gonna go ahead and move the seat out of the way so Steven can show you. You do get rear seats, but they're very small, that you better be about 3 feet tall. You could fit a Teddy Ruxpin back here. Maybe a big Gumby, one of those Gumby dolls. Does anybody remember Gumby's friend? His name is Pokey. Very interesting name. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the small steering wheel in this BRZ TS. All right guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have a simple aluminum sill plate. Tell me that this wouldn't look good if it said BRZ TS. Why didn't they do that? That's a zonk. Pedal box though, right out of a freaking race car. Aluminum dead pedal, clutch, brake pedal, and throttle. Perfect for heel toe downshifting. And this pedal box is way better than the one, the Elantra N. Seat controls are manual, but the good news is it's easy to figure out. And these seats are comfortable and they hug you very well. Whereas the Elantra N, I feel like they hug you very well, they're just not as comfortable. I'm 6 feet tall. There's actually plenty of room in here. And then the steering wheel. I love the small diameter, the blue stitching, that Subaru badge, flat black on the switchgear. It is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you have that 7-inch digital gauge cluster. Look at the way it says STI in the lower right-hand corner of the tag. There's the tag for you. You got a G meter, and then watch when I go into track mode, baby. Oh yeah, now we are ready. And it's great that you have that cool looking tack. They moved the STI badge. I'm gonna shut it off. Because look, that's the thing that says goodbye, and then watch when we start it up. This is pretty cool. Nice, look at that. You have the boxer engine firing away, the pistons, and looking really good. But I like having the important information. I'm not getting in the back seat. My name isn't Teddy Ruxpin or Gumby. I was gonna say something funny, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But anyways, we're gonna get into the trunk and see if we could put anything larger than a loaf of bread back there. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, time to get in the trunk. Now, 6 cubic feet of space might not sound like a lot, but they really have it well organized in here. First of all, you got a pretty low cargo floor, lots of space on the sides, and then that seat is gonna fold down. You can get 4 tires with wheels, so wheels with tires mounted in here, a jack and some jack stands for your next track day. So you can have your track tires, swap them out when you're at the track for your street tires, and then do vice versa and drive it home. Obviously, an Elantra N is gonna have more trunk space, so we're not fooling anybody, but still quite usable even though this is a smaller car. Underneath, you don't get a spare. So neither car has a spare. You get some cleaning cloths and a can of flat fix and electric air compressor, and that's it. Because remember, we're talking about 2,800 pounds. That's not a lot of weight for a new modern car. Go weigh a Z06 Corvette. It's almost 4,000 pounds. Just saying. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let me take you behind the wheel of this BRZ TS and show you the ways of what driver engagement is when you're behind the wheel of a car. Let's get to it. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Subaru BRZ TS. I have it in track mode, and if you're ready, I'm ready. We're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Nice. Chirping tire's a happy tire. That's what I always say. On those Brembos, look at this. Nice. Good feedback through the wheel. Love the large gear indicator. And the balance is just right there. It's right where you want it. The limited slip diff does such a great job of getting the power to the ground. Obviously, the suspension being tuned by STI, Subaru Technica International, is going to give you some nice compression and rebound damping on all 4 corners. Large gear indicator, and what I like about it is that as you're getting close to redline, the tack starts to change color to alert you, just to give you that little brief like whiff of color for your eyes to pick up on, and you're able to know where you're at. And of course the sound. Now, talking about the sound, I wish that this would have some type of STI catback exhaust from the factory. I feel like with a catback exhaust, you'd be able to get a little bit more real sound, because this pumped in sound is not my favorite. And that's one of the things that if you're looking at that $36,000 MSRP price point, then, you know, compared to the Elantra N, this is a little bit more annoying on the sound, because pretty much all of it is being pumped in. You do get some sound from the flat 4, but nothing really out the back, which is surprising. Visibility is great, and the gear lever, this gearbox is probably one of my top 3. I actually think it's a better gearbox than the one in the Elantra N. But let's go on throttle again. You ready? I'm ready. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Smoke them if you got them. Nice. It's interesting how playful this car is, you know, because compared to the GR86, this is supposed to be the more balanced one, but I definitely feel like when you're launching it from a dead stop,
This thing is way more playful, and it's interesting. Now, of course, I've been able to drive this car at the coveted PCH in California, so anything that I do with some of the roads that I know are not going to be anywhere near that level. But it's been great to spend a week with this car, because I really feel that if you've always wanted a two-door sports car that's rear-wheel drive, this one is actually quite livable. And, you know, I know we're comparing it to the, of course, Elantra N, and that car is going to be even more livable because you have four-door capacity, larger trunk, those types of things. This, though, I really feel does a great job trying to meld everything together, but yet still keep at its roots, which is sports car, that raw sports car. And I think that's where it comes out on top over the Elantra N, is that it's just, you have this connected feel that it's very hard to recreate that, and it's definitely hard to simulate that, especially in a front-wheel drive. Even though I love the Elantra N, so don't think I'm going after the Elantra N and the Elantra N owners. I'm not. It's just there's something very captivating and engaging when you're in a rear-wheel drive sports car, especially one that weighs a little over 2,800 pounds. On the inside, I actually like the BRZ better. Now, it doesn't have as cool as an infotainment system. It doesn't have, you know, special gauges and race images and all this other stuff, but it just is, it's set up the way I like it. I like a no-nonsense interior. You don't have some stupid oh crap handle for the passenger in here, which is totally unnecessary in the Elantra N. And I just love the steering wheel and the feedback that you get through the wheel. All right, guys, slow roll, first gear. On throttle, here we go. Nice. Look at that. On those brakes. Like I said, it just hugs the corners so very well, and just allows you to be just one with the BRZ TS. It's that connected. These seats are comfortable. I think they're actually more comfortable than the Elantra N, and they do just as good a job of holding you in. So that's another little good piece of tidbit of information, but just really great to be back behind the wheel of this car. All right, guys, here we go. First gear again. On throttle, here we go. 7,500 RPM. Look at this. Love it. Dab the brakes over the railroad tracks. Just so nicely done by Subaru. And I get it, man. I know that you want more horsepower, but obviously that's not happening. But you are getting a more fine-tuned instrument to create some pretty amazing music with. I'm gonna make a U-turn here. Here we go. Second gear roll, on throttle. On the brakes. Look at this. So smooth. It really is like taking candy from a freaking baby. Because if you have the skills, it just makes you look so damn good. If you don't have the skills, you're probably not gonna want this car because it's gonna not go well for you. But just great to have these cars as options. The center of gravity allows this thing to handle like you wouldn't believe. And I'm so glad that they got rid of that pesky torque dip. They used to have this torque dip that was just notorious. Now it's all gone. So you have super smooth linear torque delivery. Not a ton, but it's super smooth. Just everything just so well tuned around you. And those Brembo brakes. Don't leave home without them. All right, guys, one more time for you. Definitely one more time for me. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. It just puts the power down to the ground. You don't have to worry about too much power. And then, like I said, it's just so controllable. You don't have to white knuckle the steering wheel. Even over the bumps, I mean, it really is well done on the suspension tuning. But it'd be nice to have something other than fake sound being pumped in here. But everything else, I mean, visibility is great. Seating position's awesome. You just have to ask yourself, do you really want that extra horsepower? Because you're getting 270, what is it, 5 horsepower out of the manual transmission Elantra N. You can also get automatic, but you can get automatic in this as well. And do you want rear-wheel drive or do you want front-wheel drive? That's what it comes down to. But if you want the purest, rawest form of driving besides a Miata, this is your ticket, the TS. But we're gonna get back to where it all started, and I'm ready to wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day here with this Subaru BRZ. We gotta thank everybody, including Todd and the rest of the Subaru USA team, for getting us access to this BRZ TS. Let me know what you think. I posed a question to you. You got 36 grand. Where are you gonna spend your money? Are you going BRZ TS or are you going Hyundai Elantra N? Those are your two choices. Don't tell me about how you're gonna go buy a used Fox body Mustang. That's great. That's not what I'm talking about here. We're talking about brand new Elantra N, BRZ TS. Let me know. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Need to give it up to Stephen Flood, working out here no matter how hot it gets. Stephen does not melt. So show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.